Get ready for a night of inspiration, laughter, and support. Join us on Saturday, October 4th at 6 p.m. at the Tupelo Cotton Mill, where outstanding men from our community will walk in her shoes. You'll hear powerful stories from survivors and caregivers, enjoy delicious food and drinks, and experience live entertainment in an evening filled with fellowship, fun, and hope. All proceeds go to support those bravely fighting cancer. This event is powered by Wear It Well.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 6.
Well, good evening and welcome to Mississippi Live Weather at 6. I am so excited that you could join us for your Saturday evening for what has been a beautiful Saturday, but also action-packed with football games. I know our local teams, Mississippi State and Oxford and Ole Miss, are fighting very hard to get a win this evening, and we have Alabama playing, I think, within the next 30 minutes. So it has been a great Saturday all around in North Mississippi, and we are enjoying the beautiful weather. And now I just got to tell you that these trends are going to continue as well. So let's get right into it. Beautiful weekend will continue. So this isn't just a Saturday thing. We're also seeing a beautiful Sunday and technically a beautiful Monday as well as we start the work week. The only thing is we're seeing a slight warming trend. Now, this isn't something that we've seen in the summer to where we're soaring into the 90s and mid 90s and it's just sweaty and hot. It's a very brief, slow warming trend, maybe knocking us up maybe 2 degrees at a time, but we are still staying in the 80s and still trying to enjoy these fall conditions, just maybe slightly above average for this time of the year. But also at the end of this broadcast, the tropics, they are affecting our rain chances. So I know y'all saw those rain chances yesterday, and y'all are going to see them today. See that they look a little bit different. I can explain why coming up towards the end of this broadcast. Tropics definitely being the main influence for those rain chances here in North Mississippi. But let's take a live look across North Mississippi right now, especially with those football games going on. We do have this camera out there, and it is 82 degrees. Feels like 82, so I know everyone in Davis Wade Stadium are feeling these amazing conditions, definitely not wanting to leave with how close of a game it is. So they are enjoying that with 5-mile-per-hour winds. Pretty much just feels great out there, those heat and seas, allowing us to still stay cool. Out here in Oxford, same thing, you're just beating us in those degrees as well. 79 degrees, feels like 79, so we're not even getting elevated with those heat and seas. We are still feeling pretty cool across North Mississippi, allowing for a great Saturday evening. Taking a look out here in Greenwood, now you typically come up at the highest for our highs and most of our graphics. You can see this here, 84 degrees, but thankfully those heat and seas still coming in clutch for y'all as well, feeling like 84 as well. Looking at the next 12, we can see those dry, clear conditions will continue. 7 o'clock, around 75 degrees in the mid 70s, but we're going to continue pushing into the 60s as well. By the time we get into those later AM hours, we will start seeing low 60s and possibly pretty much upper 50s across most of North Mississippi, allowing for a cool start to our Sunday as well. Looking at our Mississippi Live weather radar, there's nothing much to look at right now. Again, this is just that clear air mode radar trying to find anything to try to get that energy sent back. This is just a bunch of clutter going on. We are very much dry. We can even put this on a loop. Actually, I just pressed now. Put this on a loop for the past 12 hours, and you can see it's been trying to pick up on anything, but it hasn't found anything for today. We are staying dry, and we'll continue to do so into our Sunday as well. We do see the slight warming trend. This is what I was talking about earlier. This is the temperature change within the past 24 hours. We haven't had any rainfall to affect any of this, allowing for some blue patches or maybe really elevated because we were cooler yesterday due to a shower. This is pretty much just a gradual increase across all of North Mississippi. If I were to tally it around, Louisville, 6 degrees increase, Aberdeen, 3, Tupelo, 3, Oxford, 3. I mean, I did this everywhere just a few minutes ago, and it's around 3 degrees, so it's not a well, there you go. 2 degrees out there just south of Greenwood, north of Chula. But it's a gradual warming trend, and we are still enjoying these fall conditions. It's just a little bit above average, and that's going to continue into your Sunday as well. But still, we'll feel beautiful. It will be dry, and it'll be clear outside, allowing for a great Sunday and end of your weekend. We can track this out on Futurecast. There's that high pressure system I was talking about yesterday. We could start to see the shadow starting to come in just a little bit with our last night's models, but we're starting to see that H move closer and closer towards Mississippi. That's what's causing these northerly winds to affect us here. That is pushing just cooler, drier continental air towards Mississippi, and that's what's basically allowing us to feel cooler and drier as we continue into our weekend. But by Sunday morning, you can see some cloud cover really trying to push in towards Mississippi. Most of us will wake up with clear, beautiful, picture-perfect skies, but maybe those of us out in the Delta southernmost portion of our viewing area could see some clouds in the sky as we start off our Sunday morning. But taking a look at the next 24, we will see those dry, clear conditions for pretty much all of North Mississippi. Starting off around 60 degrees by 6 a.m. Of course, some of us could see some of those upper 50s as well, allowing for a great cool fall start to our Sunday. But we will slowly start warming back up by the time we get in the afternoon. 12 o'clock, 83 degrees, 3 o'clock, 86. So now, instead of being in the low 80s, we're pretty much in the mid 80s as we go into our Sunday. But thankfully, we will start cooling off as well by the time we get towards our 6 o'clock broadcast time, around 84 degrees, before seeing those low 70s start coming back into play by the time we reach our 10 o'clock broadcast as well. Now, I'm going to go further in depth on these temperature changes, what to expect for your Sunday, and those rain changes. Where did they go? When can we expect them again? All coming up in 1 minute.
If you're facing a DUI charge, every decision matters. At the law office of Andrew W. Stewart II, we provide a skilled defense to protect your record, rights, and future. Call today or visit drewstewartlaw.com. Your future is worth defending.
I don't remember how it started.
North of that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Let's see how far we can go. Love, your mind.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's meteorologist Caleb Edelblut.
Well, for those of you who are here already, thank you for sticking around for Mississippi Live Weather at 6. I apologize for sending out the notification late. I appreciate everyone joining in late. You didn't miss much. We've just been bragging and talking about how these beautiful conditions have been the story across North Mississippi, and we can start off right here looking at them in Aberdeen. 82 degrees, feels like 82. There's that northerly wind component, 7 miles per hour coming out of the north. That is what is allowing us to continue to feel cool and dry as we continue into our weekend, and why those heat indices dropping us just a few degrees lower than our actual temperature. Same thing out here in Batesville, 82 degrees, feels like 82. Not much wind, so definitely not decreasing those feels like values, but definitely keeping us right there with us, or with those temperatures, not boosting them on up as well. Cleveland, 82, feels like 82. There's that wind component. You can even see the flag blowing in the wind. So a little bit breezy, can kind of see the tower shaking just a little bit, but it is pretty much blue skies everywhere you look here in North Mississippi. So any outdoor plans are a go, and we can see that on our day planner as well. Pretty much clear skies starting off around 8 o'clock, 72 degrees. We will start cooling off towards the mid 60s by 11, and then seeing those low 60s start to pop up in the early AM hours. But thankfully, we're going to even see some upper 50s across North Mississippi as well. But before we can get to those AM hours, let's track out what we have going on here on Futurecast. Well, there we go. We have some color showing up. Maybe a little rogue shower trying to give us some sprinkles if it can make it to the surface out there in Fayette, but pretty much we are staying dry here in North Mississippi. Not much cloud cover or any moisture at all, especially by the time we are wrapping up football games, getting ready for bed to start our Sunday morning. That trend is going to continue into the early morning hours for our Sunday as well, into the AM hours, seeing that cloud cover start to push in just a little bit into the Delta and most southern portion of our viewing area. But for most of us, by the time we're waking up early on our Sunday, we are seeing clear, cloudless skies here in North Mississippi. But here we go. There are those upper 50s, allowing a cool fall start to our Sunday. I definitely enjoy these mornings for the most part. It's kind of hard to get out of bed with it feeling super cold outside, but with how hot it's been, I will definitely enjoy them right now. Pretty much amazing temperatures and conditions as we start off our Sunday. But let's go back to Futurecast to track out these dry conditions. You can see that cloud cover still prevalent out in the Delta, with most of us seeing these clearer skies. They're going to try to push into North Mississippi just a little bit, but we are so dry, the cloud cover is not really being able to stay that much. And thankfully, we don't really need it with how nice these temperatures are. That northerly wind, that is the most that we're going to see out of these models. Maybe some wispy clouds trying to form to give us some action to look up into the sky. But we are seeing pretty much dry, beautiful conditions as we continue into the weekend. High temperatures, slightly warmer than what they are today, pretty much in the mid 80s, maybe even upper 80s. You can see some 90s popping in, but thankfully, the zero is falling behind it. So if you're reaching there, you're at the best spot you can be. We're not really trying to go further than 90. So definitely a slight warming trend. Those heat and seas, where those 90s were, knocking you down 2 degrees. So it'll still feel pretty cool. Even if you're reading in the 90s, you're pretty much feeling like you're in the upper 80s. So definitely not sticking out as much. But me and my friends have been talking about going hiking with one of our free days. Here's the hiking planner. It will be a beautiful day to do so on Sunday. Starting off, if you're an early bird, want to get going, 60 degrees by the time you start your hike around 7 in the morning. You'll slowly start warming up towards the low 80s by noontime, maybe seeing some of those mid 80s by the time you're in the peak heating in the afternoon. But then even by the evening, you can see pretty much clear conditions nonstop and cooler conditions by the evening as well. Coming back to Futurecast, there's some of that cloud cover towards the evening, trying to build up. Very partly cloudy, pretty much mostly clear skies here. And you can definitely see clear skies by the time we're wrapping up our Sunday as well. By the time we get in those AM hours, that northerly wind component is still very prevalent here in North Mississippi. We will start off our Monday morning with clear, beautiful skies. And then this is where I start disagreeing with the model just slightly. We can start seeing these rain chances start to pop up across North Mississippi. Not meaningful by any means. These are just little bubbles trying to pop up, trying to give us a few sprinkles. And there you're going to see that these pretty much don't stick around for long. They try to push into North Mississippi. Maybe only half of our viewing area could see this. I don't think any of us will see these rain chances as of now, but this is a model that I'm going to enjoy watching to continue updating and seeing if we could see some of those rain chances for our Monday. As of now, we are definitely staying dry for the start of our work week. High temperatures, a little bit warmer into our Monday as well. This is that warming trend I was talking about, but we are still in the 80s for most of us. If we're in the 90s, you're around 90 in Macon, 91 in Columbus, but thankfully those heat and seas trying to keep us right there, maybe cool us down just a little bit. So we're still feeling cool for this time of year, just technically a little bit above average. Looking at your 7-day forecast to track out the rest of your conditions, pretty much 86 degrees as our high for Sunday, but there's that warming trend. 88 for your Monday, 88 for your Tuesday. Then those rain chances disappeared for your Thursday and Friday, still lingering for Wednesday. And that's because of those tropical storm and activity going on in the Atlantics, shifting a little bit from what those models were projecting. And of course, I'm going to cover that in just a minute, but 20% chance for your Wednesday, and then we're seeing those drier conditions later on towards the end of your work week and weekend. But as I mentioned, I want to cover those tropical chances of rainfall. When can we expect them? All of that coming up in 1 minute. Oop, 1 second. I will have to do this real quick. All right, let's try this again. I will give you the latest look on those tropical chances coming up here in 1 minute.
When people are fed, futures are nourished. They can connect with the world around them, unlock endless possibilities, and thrive. Join the movement to end hunger. Volunteer. Advocate. Donate. Go to feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Being a parent, especially for the first time, with that comes a lot of self-doubt. As a dad, I just try to lead by example. When you're trying to be the best person that you can be, your kids see that and then they emulate that.
Well, thanks for sticking here with us at Mississippi Live Weather at 6. We're taking a look at the tropics on a broadened sense. So kind of almost the same graphics that I showed you last night, but definitely a lot has changed. So I'm wanting to show you the latest look at them again. But there's that cold front, and which has now transitioned towards a stationary front along the East Coast. That is what's going to be a blocking mechanism for this Hurricane Humberto, which last night I was telling you, if it just tries to intensify a little bit more than what models are projecting, it could become a Cat 5 sooner, instead of it not becoming a Cat 5 at all. It is now a Category 5 hurricane and will continue to do so for the rest of the weekend. So definitely something that we want to continue monitoring, but thankfully that low pressure system and that little stationary front will act like a wall to pretty much push Humberto out and towards the Atlantic Ocean. So hopefully nothing that we have to worry about, but want to keep our eye on. But we did have potential Tropical Cyclone 9 form It is now Tropical Cyclone number 9, and that's a low pressure system moving across Cuba, and it will be something trying to move towards the East Coast. But models have been shifting just a little bit. I'm going to cover that here in the next minute. But let's take a look at Hurricane Humberto, who is now a Category 5 hurricane. You see this right here, 160 mile per hour winds, so intensified just a little bit more than what those models were projecting, pretty much keeping at a Category 5 strength into your Sunday afternoon and technically evening as well, before downgrading back towards a Category 4 for the start of the work week. But as we continue to track it out, you can see it starts taking that northerly shift and then starts moving away from that front. It does not want to get anywhere near that front. It'll start kind of ripping it apart. It likes to have its mind of its own. It wants the most favorable conditions for these type of storms. So it will start to veer away and go back towards the Atlantic basin. So thankfully, nothing that we have to worry about here in the United States. But Tropical Cyclone number 9, that is something more that we want to pay close attention to with how close it is. So you can see it's a depression right now. Let's take a look at what we call the spaghetti plots, because it looks like a bunch of spaghetti noodles, especially once these models start projecting everywhere. But it keeps a pretty confident path for most of these models. Some start to split off just a little bit earlier, but last night you saw that some split off early and just went out into the Atlantic Ocean, but that was kind of the minority, while most continued towards the East Coast and into the United States. But if we continue tracking this out here, you're going to see most of them have them pretty much taking a sharp turn as well. It's not really going to make direct landfall as of now. You can see some models still keep it going towards the north, making landfall in South Carolina, but we will see most models are projecting it to take a sharp right towards the Atlantic Ocean. So what that did is, instead of causing it to go into the United States and make direct landfall, we're not seeing those rain chances start to affect the southeast anymore, causing those rain chances to pretty much diminish into our Thursday and Friday as well. There are still some chances for our Wednesday, and technically with that model you saw earlier, maybe some spotty showers and sprinkles for our Monday. But thankfully, we can see that these model runs are starting to project it just a little bit more towards the right and pretty much trying to avoid landfall altogether. But definitely for Florida, you want to keep a close watch on this, because it's going to be pretty much hogging across the side or coast for Florida. Definitely something that will impact riptide, sea currents, everything that you need to know. So definitely something to keep an eye out there in Florida. But of course, here are the QR codes for the iOS and Android app. No better way to stay updated than with the notifications we send y'all and everything that you need to know. There are graphics that you can pull up. We love hearing the feedback on what y'all would like to be on the app, because we can't do this without y'all. We appreciate all the feedback you give us. And of course, our broadcast schedule, still going to be the weekend schedule as of now, 6 and 10, but just finished up the 6. So we will have the 10 o'clock broadcast later on tonight, and then tomorrow it will be 6 and 10 as well. So y'all go out, enjoy the rest of y'all Saturday, continue watching all these pretty much intense, action-packed football games, and we'll be back live here in the Room to Room Weather Center at 10.
March 24th, 2023 was a normal Friday. You know, we knew the weather was not good, but we needed to take shelter, and we didn't have shelter. My husband and almost 2-year-old daughter, Ethan and Riley, they did lose their lives in the storm. We're still recovering from it. We'll always be recovering from it. Matt Laupon cares about the community. He's not just there to collect a paycheck. I feel like Matt Laupon has proven himself trustworthy.